the Caribbean Association, we were housed eventually, I can't remember what year it was, down at the old school, which was like an old Victorious school.
It was really good. I loved just seeing the history of Huddersfield again. I was born in Huddersfield, so a lot of it I was a part of growing up, and it was just lovely to see that experience again that we experienced as children.
The things people said were so moving and so fascinating, and I do feel that people should be proud of how they've struggled and continued, and how we have got a pretty good community in Huddersfield we can mostly be proud of.
It's very thought-provoking, and it's interesting to see where we were and where we are now.
Lots of people have heard of the Windrush story and the Windrush generation, but I think what's really crucial is that the local stories of people are told.
Yeah, it was really interesting, eye-opening, the bit about children being bused to different schools. I had no idea about that. And then straight away I was thinking about the children in my school and whether any of them had been bussed in, or whether children that I went to primary school had been bussed out somewhere else.
I love the fact that it was based on people that I know around my own community.
We have to document our history. We can't leave it to nobody else to document our history, for generations to come. Because if we don't do it, the history and the narrative will get distorted, and it won't come across correctly as how it's supposed to. It's got to be from the people that have lived it.
What are the benefits and the financial and economic foundations that we can go forward on, knowing that to not have it, even though we don't have it, we're still able as a community to build this that everybody benefits from.
We're stereotyping the youth as though they're one bad group of black kids. There isn't. It's people facing poverty and a lack of hope. And I think it's up to us to try and make sure they've got some of that hope for the future.
What they was teaching us in school wasn't our history. There wasn't teaching us black history in school. So we had to seek out our black history.
Things are always going to be education. And it's also getting more black people in positions of power to help. Because if you're not in no power, you can't help nothing.
You could apply for funding to run a project or whatever it is. And this is absolutely true because I've done it many, many times.
What stuck with me is that some of the young people that I saw in that film, some of them was people that used to go to my youth club, right? So some of them I've probably mentored to a certain extent, and it's quite positive. Like Fisher, it's so positive the way he was really positive.
I think we should start bringing that history up to date and sort of expanding on that.
I was quite an observant child, a mature child, and I definitely got that feeling that there were very low expectations of me and anybody like me.
I found the film very moving and very inspirational. What messages would you like to give to our young ones now?
I'd say in the summertime this year, we had a meeting with somebody who informed us that a child was told at school that there was no black soldiers in the army. And that's in 2021.
If it wasn't for the people in that film, people like me and people in white people in universities and other institutions would be happy to continue with a version of British history that ignored you.
What needs to happen in these discussions is the people in the positions of power need to be in the room.
I think it's very true to say that archives across the entire country are completely underrepresented in terms of African Caribbean communities in Kirklees and Britain.
You're finding out about everyday people's lives. You're not finding out about kings and queens and armies and big changes in government. You're finding about what life was like for real people.
A lot of things we wasn't taught in school. We wasn't taught our black history in school. We had to research and find that out for ourselves. So, as well as our parents teaching us, we can teach our kids and the next generation.